Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ysn Power Hour for this Monday, the 16th of September, 2024. DJ Oakley with you, and it's all brought to you thanks to our friends at Toyota of Warren. What a weekend it was. Started on Friday, ton of games on the network, and then it rolled right into Saturday. Had a cross-country meet. The Boardman Spartan Invitational here in 2024 took place. We were there, live on the scene, and we saw some great runners. Some great times rolling in, a beautiful day. And then we turned our attention to football, and then some more football, and then some more football. No matter what the rank, whether it's high school or college, rolled right into Sunday, which led us into some more football, all the way from flag football to the big boys, the guys making millions and millions and millions of dollars. But it was a beautiful weekend. Hope you had one as well. Hope it was packed full of the people that you love and certainly the things that you love to do. And you got to recharge those batteries. Obviously, you can hear the voice is a little bit on broken ground here. So we got to do something about this. So just letting you know, there might be some water breaks built in, just like the first game of the high school football season. Boys need their water. Got to get backed up, juiced up, ready to go. So we might have some water breaks built into this. So I do apologize in advance, but you can tell the voice got flexed this weekend. Noah Doty and I, my goodness, we were all over the place doing that cross country at like 6 hours, something like that. No, we got there at 8 and we left at 2:30. So it's a solid day. But we left about 3. Last race was at 2:30. Shout out. Want to thank Donnie Riccatelli, Jeff Hamilton, the athletic director, Rick Seipert, the assistant athletic director at Boardman, as well as Chris Knight for the superintendent, the entire administration, the Boardman, everything, athletic department, top to bottom, boosters. What a great job they do. 6,000 runners. 6,000 runners. So then you take that and you multiply that by 4, essentially, right? Because you got a mom, a dad, most likely. On average, it's a brother or sister. So then you got 24,000 people on Boardman's campus. Then you add in grandma, grandpa, here and there sporadically. Estimated 30,000 people on Boardman's campus on Saturday. It was incredible. Across the board. To have 30,000 people, that's half of almost did it. Acrisure Stadium, and it holds 64,000-ish. So that's half of that stadium full of people watching people run up and down hills, through wooded areas, through, down the home stretch, up the hill, off of the stadium. I mean, it's incredible. Cross country, I have more respect for cross country runners and enthusiasts, by the way, than I have for years. Because we get to see it live and in person now. And Boardman's a big reason for that. Let's give it, if you're a cross country enthusiast at all, you need to know that Boardman's the reason that we're doing this. And a lot of that credit goes right back to the Don Father himself and guys like Jeff Hamilton that say, hey, we want this. Rick Seipert, John Phillips as well, that keep us continually updated, ready to go. Dave Pavlansky, who puts the whole thing together. So kudos to that entire group there. Kudos to the winners. We had some YSN representation. Boardman took second by 0.1 seconds. I mean, it was a photo finish, folks, in the D1 top 9 race to start off the day for the high schools, for the varsity. And then South Range, Slaybaugh took the overall number 1 spot, and it wasn't real close. He's a weapon for the Raiders, so keep an eye on him. Louisville took 3rd in that particular race, the D3 race. And then we had some tough runners in D2 later on. Girls, Heartland Christian, the name is escaping me. Rebecca Geis, I believe. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. She dominated. I mean, just absolutely dominated the field. So kudos to her. And we've heard unbelievable stories about this young lady and how she runs. And I believe she's got a long way to go. So she's got, some glass ceilings to break in that perspective as well. I'm sure records will fall with them. So congratulations across the board to all the runners. I know that there was a ton of YSN representation out there. Hey, I just want you to know we're proud of you. We're proud of you across the board. So if that's your bag, that's what you're doing, know that we got our eyes on you, and we are so incredibly honored to be able to watch you do your thing. So kudos to everybody who took part on Saturday. Then we had some football on Saturday night. We did the Valley Christian Latonia game. Valley Christian, man, they're tough. They're tough. I mean, they got a guy that has 12 carries on the night, goes 263 yards, multiple touchdowns, multiple splash plays over 30, 40, 50 yards. I mean, you look at what this team can do. This team's dangerous. Last year they only had 2 seniors. They got a few more this year. Jay-Sean Lindsay, I warned you. I told you about him. He's that guy. He is him. Jay-Sean Lindsay is the dude. And he's got some help back there. Dion Miller figuring it out. He's figuring it out. And I'll tell you what, he can put the ball in the air. He's got that. I mean, I related him to Terrell Pryor on Saturday night. Noah Doty linked him to essentially Jalen Daniels or Jaden Daniels, one of the two. The dude that plays for the Washington now. Like, whatever. Plays for LSU. That's why Noah liked him. But he's got the skill set. He can run, he can pass. The issue, why you're not hearing more about them, is that they play at a school that's very small, and that's not their fault. That's nobody's fault. In fact, we've argued many times that Valley Christian should be D7. And if they're D7, they're one of the toughest D7s there are. But every year it's D6 now. And guess what? You got Kirtland, the big bad wolf, the boogie monster, waiting for him. And they'll never back down. I mean, look, they took on Mogador. Or no, I stand corrected. Malvern, week 1. They took on Malvern week 1. Didn't even blink. They're going to be good. I'm telling you. And it's not going to, they don't give a rip about the YSN Power 25. They don't care a bit. Whether they're on it or they're not. They don't care. You know what they care about? Getting their guys ready for the next game. This next game for Valley Christian, boys and girls, whoo boy. East Palestine, Valley Christian, Friday night, 7 p.m. at Liberty High School. Early conference battle that could potentially, we could look back in 5 weeks and say, that's how the West was won. The old shootout, the OK Corral. 2 really good teams. Owen Yuriachi for East Palestine goes 36 carries, 300 and some yards, 5 touchdowns, and he's going up against Jay-Sean Lindsay, who, to me, the belle of the ball when it comes to backs this year. I mean, you put him on any offense in the entire YSN family of teams and schools and districts. It's never a bad fit. He's a yes guy. And what I mean by that is if they said, hey, would you want this guy? The answer is always yes. It's going to be a unbelievable setting, an unbelievable night. You hope this, as much as I like the rain for many reasons, you hope that this is one that is a beautiful, crisp fall night that you can just watch some good football happen in Liberty, Ohio, because that's what this is going to come down to. This is going to be a battle. This is going to be a war. If I'm East Palestine, you're putting 11 in the box and you're forcing Agent Zero to beat you. I don't think that Valley Christian expects any different. Right? You're going to stop Agent Zero, and what you're going to do is focus on Dion Miller beating your backs in the backfield, your DBs. That has to be the game plan for East Palestine on Friday. And on the other side of that, if you're Andy Hake, okay, well, I'll let my junior quarterback eat a little bit on Friday night, to where if you don't cover the receivers, who are incredibly dangerous, you're in trouble. I'm really interested, incredibly interested to hear about and see what schemes that defensively East Palestine comes up with on Friday. Because this is, I mean, we're hearing it. These dogs are different. This is the test. This is the one. You beat Valley, and the buy-in goes through the roof for everybody else, right? The buy-in, oh my gosh. It's the same problem that South Range had against TC Caffey. Pardon me. Against TC Caffey. 2 years ago? 3. Oh, I don't know. It had to be 2 years ago, right? 2 years. Not this year counting. 2 years ago. It was week 10. It was week 10, and Hubbard said, wait until they say TC Caffey. That was the night that South Range stopped TC for 40-some yards total, and they administered their will. Does East Palestine have that same dog in them that they stopped Jay Sean Lindsay? Can they keep? And I'm not just talking about keeping Jay Sean under 100 yards. I mean, they're going to have to lock him down. East Palestine on the rise, no doubt about that. Up and to the right. Will the inexperience become experienced on Friday night? Those are the question marks. Those are the question marks. It's the same questions you look at other games in the area that are huge. Now, certainly, this one's circled for me. The Valley Christian game against East Palestine, huge circle, because nobody's going to talk about it. That's why we're talking about it. The game that people are going to talk about. The game that nobody else is going to have video of, except YSN. The exclusive. Struthers and South Range. This one was a war last year. It's going to be a war this year. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to put that bulletin board material up for the other side because it's a distinct advantage in this one. Both teams are huge on putting that chip on their shoulder and riding. But what I'm going to tell you is, I said it on the South Range bias aside. They're one of the original 4 here on YSN. What I'm going to tell you is that South Range continuously plays the underdog better than anybody else. Because everybody just goes, oh, this is the season. South Range stinks. This is the year. This is the week. This is the series. This is like it constantly. But on that same hand, Struthers under Coach Bayek, my goodness, have they crawled out of the depths. Coming into the season, it's all about the line, the O-line. Are they going to be able to move people? They're going to be able to open up gaps. The biggest question mark is Jason Dukes healthy? Is he going to be able to get out on Friday night against South Range and play the guy that we expected coming into this year? Bam Bam with 3 tutties on Friday night when the Wildcats were down. It's an incredible story. And when you go back and look at the DVD of how the season came to be, that game that was played Friday night against Girard is going to be one of the most crucial points of the season. In every Disney movie, there's the peak and the valley, right? When you feel your highest, you feel your lowest, and then the comeback story, right? Struthers is trying to avoid the fall off. Struthers is hearing what everybody's talking about, yours included. Yours truly included. You're probably not talking about that. What I'm going to tell you is South Range is sitting on one side saying, you still think we're the underdog. You still dogging us. Struthers is trying to be the bully on the block. This game is going to be incredible. Incredible. Well, I'll give you, this is going to be a really, 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 really good game. Or it could be a really bad game. And I know there's people like, why would he say that? They have the exclusive on this game. Why would he take away? I'm just telling you. And I'm not telling you because of the reasons you think I am. I think Struthers has the ability, because of their size, to move dudes around for South Range. It's very similar to what we see and we talk about with coaches every week 0. And not Pennsylvania's week 0, because that's really week 1. Our week 0, 1 week till games start, August 18th, whatever it is. We're usually talking to them August 10th, August 11th. And they say it comes down to the trenches. It comes down to our health and how bad the kids want it. Right now, you look at this. The NE8, whoever wins this game, the NE8 goes through them. Struthers wins. I don't know how. I don't know how South Range would catch up. I don't know where Struthers would lose the rest of the way. I thought, and I still think, it could be Poland. Everybody gets up for that game. But after Friday night, Canfield with a win over Poland, it makes you question some things. In talking to both sides last week, Canfield, Poland, that's the biggest game of their season. You talk to Richie Giuliano, who says, if you don't win another game all season, as long as you win that game, doesn't matter. It is the game. Now Poland's pissed. Poland is upset. You got some mad dogs in the house. And they're looking to take it out on somebody. Could be an interesting week for the Bulldogs. Could be an interesting week for the NE8. There's nobody that I know that saw whatever it was, 38-7 on Friday night with South Range just obliterating Lakeview. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. You could ask anybody on either side. Nobody saw it. But it happened. South Range out to prove they're the real deal again. Again. And then again. It's funny, I was asked on the way out, what is it about South Range? What is it about South Range? Like, you're always on South. Okay, I get it. Prove me wrong. Nobody sits up and talks about South Range. Nobody. You look across the media, nobody's sitting there propping up South Range except us. And we only do it because, well, let's look at history. Let's look at the body of work that they've put together through 2 coaches, right? 2 head coaches. Their coaching staff relatively has remained the same. They've added on some great ones. They've had some great ones already. But let's look at what they've done. And people sit there and they well, he's a homer. He's a homer. He went to You know where I went to high school. And I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. At some point, the media has to look at this, box it up, and say, the Raiders have some guys. The Raiders play great team football. And at some point, you look at this and you go, how do you beat them? You look at Perry, right? The last loss that the Raiders have on their schedule. Perry was just built different. They're just built different. And they were a team of incredible destiny going on to win the D5 state championship the year after the Raiders did. Perry, now YSN school, up to D4. Poland, down to D5. Girard, D5. You've got a whole bunch of NE8 schools sitting in that D5, the same region, all of that. So we got a little bit of a taste in the regular season, but you got to believe that some of these teams are going to match up. But we're not talking about that right now. We'll pack that up. We'll put that away. Put that in the cupboard. More to come on that probably next week. But this week it's Struthers and it's South Range, and it is going to be nasty. And if you think you're from South Range and you think this is going to be a dog walk, I got some news for you. It's not going to be. Struthers survived. Girard. Hey, kudos, Girard, right? Nobody saw that coming either, except yours truly. Girard, up-and-coming program again. Girard, remember, when we started this thing, Mark Wade and the Funky Bunch over at Girard, state championship. Well, state championship game, excuse me. State championship game. We followed them all the way to Canton. They've got some dudes coming up. They're going to be relevant very soon. In fact, I would argue they're relevant right now. They can battle. If this turns into a bunch of teams in the NE8 that have one loss, Girard's going to be in the mix. Girard's going to be in the mix. Poland's going to be in the mix. Lakeview, imminently better. Like incredibly better. Working hard. They didn't throw in the towel. But then you look at what it comes down to. It could come down to this week. Same as we talked about the EOAC, Palestine versus Valley. It could come down to week 5, Struthers, South Range. You look back in 5 weeks and you go, there it was. There was your NE8 championship. So what does it boil down to? It boils down to power against power, skill against skill. If you try to match up with South Range and you try to outpower South Range, out and muscle them, it is not going to work. You have to run the ball on South Range. The problem? Nobody can run the ball on South Range. On Struthers, you have to beat them with athletes. Does South Range have enough athletes to beat Struthers? Last year, it came down to the final possession. Aiden Dominguez, the Burgundy Bull, coming through. Dominguez, the big dog, crowned today of the Valley. Congratulations, Aiden. Will he do it again? Dylan Smesko is starting to get a lot more carries for South Range. South Range getting a lot more athletic. Nate Lewis having a big game. Heath Krause, the tight end, starting to look like his brother. That's a dangerous combination. Tristan Toy has every bit the arm that Billy Skripak had, and he's got advanced mobility. The athletes are there. If you're Struthers, you're hoping you can just, get into the trenches and pound and pound and pound and wear them down a little bit. You have to play your game against South Range. because if you try to match what they do, it's not going to work. They teach them all the way from when they're young to when they're seniors in high school. You got your Bible, you got your playbook in South Range. Both of them get read every night. Struthers, they're looking. A lot of this depends on Dukes. You put Bam Bam in the backfield, I think he gets you to the promised land. I don't think this will be the first game South Range plays this season that is not a mercy clock. And this is going to sound stupid to say, advantage Struthers. Struthers was the team a couple years ago. 2022 took South Range to the brink. And then you look at what they did last year. Taking South Range to the brink is the third time the charm. Can they get into Rominger Stadium and do what no other NE8 team has been able to do? Can they beat the South Range Raiders at home? A lot of questions. And I just can't wait for this game. I can't wait for this game for a lot of reasons, folks. There's going to be a lot of people pumped up about it. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about those power rankings that nobody cares about, but we still give you every single week. The Ysn Power Rankings for football. Break it down for you right after the break here on Ysn Power Hour, presented by Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
It means the world to me to know that what we're doing is impacting people. And whether it's simply, I got to watch my son or daughter when I was out of town, or we just love watching YSN. We love what you do for our son or daughter. So whenever someone says thank you or someone is appreciative of what we're doing, it tells me everyone at YSN is doing what we initially set out to do, which is shine a light on these athletes and help them kind of promote themselves. My name is Anthony Hartwig, and my sports network is your sports network.
Thank you, Anthony. Welcome back to the YSN Power Hour, powered by our friends at Toyota of Warren. Thanks to Tino and the whole crew over there. I know Tino was in Kentucky this weekend because Georgia came to town. Tino Merla, who used to play for Cardinal Mooney, we covered very well. I have a jersey in my closet of Kentucky. Tino Merlo, congratulations, by the way. They took Georgia to the brink, man. I thought that place was going to explode. Admittedly, was a little tired on Saturday. Fell asleep before the game was over, hoping that maybe they pulled it off. But it looked like it was getting away late on Saturday night, and I think pretty sure Georgia pulled it off because the betting odds didn't go down for them. In fact, they went up. So we'll see. Kudos to Tino, and I know there's a lot of Youngstown ties down at the University of Kentucky. So kudos to all of you over there. Kudos to Tino, Big Tino, for all the support and the belief of what we do here at YSN, making it possible. So we have shows like this for you each and every day, and certainly we have the games for you throughout the week. It is time to reveal, if you haven't already, the Week 4 YSN Football Power Rankings. And, man, I'll tell you what, Mike Swinehart does an unbelievable job on these. I mean, how we do is we basically take the ratings, the rankings, the points from Joe Idle, and we put them in our system. We shake them up, right? All of the divisions together, and then we spit them out. So obviously Division I, when you're playing bigger schools, or Division II, when you're playing bigger schools, or schools of your size, you're going to get more points, right? That's just how it works. It's a benefit. I think it's fair. Other schools don't think so. When big schools get knocked off and it's, they're 5-5 and they're not on the power rankings, they feel it's unfair. I think it's the most fair you can do. And we've had people say, hey, Small schools and big schools. That's all you need. Just go to Joe Idol if you're going to do that. You don't need us. We're just trying to do something fun for everybody else. So, without further ado, it's time to reveal the 2024 Week 4 Power Rankings brought to you by YSN. All right, number 25 making their first appearance on the list is Louisville, who, I mean, if you don't know and you haven't watched Louisville, Gino Perry, incredible. Will Rich, quarterback, incredible. Getting better every week. And they survived a thriller against Camel last week that helped them get into the 25 slot. So you got Louisville, then you have Louisville at 24, which you can say whatever you want. Some of the best jerseys in the entire area. That baby blue, oh my goodness. And it looks so good on camera. Rob Johnson doing a great job with them, but they're playing just as well as they're looking this year in 2024. So Louisville, your number 24 team, the Leopards. 23 is East Palestine. I mean, what do you want? They're doing it. They're doing it. These dogs are different. That's what we're hearing. And these dogs are performing different. 3-1 for the first time in forever, as Anna from Frozen would say. And East Palestine really trying to be the real deal and to prove themselves. And we talked about it earlier. You know what they got to do. Win this week and watch what happens. Win this week and watch what happens. East Palestine at 23 here in week 4. Edison popping onto the scene at 22. Kudos to them. You know, it's a different brand of ball down there at Richmond Edison, and they're doing what they got to do to get through who they got to get through, and they're doing it well. Canfield, hey, coach, way to go. We talked about it. Now, I will tell you a little secret. If you're looking for the coach's corner for Canfield this week, your guess is as good as mine. We recorded it. Don't know where it went. Vanished. So we got one this week. I owe MJ a player profile as well because I don't know where it went. It just disappeared. No clue. That's when you deal with technology. When you don't do live shows, this is what you deal with. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So Canfield, Enzo Coca is so good. He's so good. You look at that defense, the stingy defense that Canfield brought to the table at home on Friday night against Poland. And Poland's a good team, athletic as the day is long, but Canfield just looked like they wanted it more. They looked like it meant something to them. And something deep in the subcockles of their heart, and they came away with that win. Now, Poland did not give up until the clocks hit 0. But what a win, and obviously a big one for them, propels them to number 21 here on our list. Crestview is a team that I can tell you I've been impressed with all year. Max Hawkins, an absolute dog. He's a young man who they could probably give him 7 touchdowns a game if he really wanted it. Crestview able to spread things out throughout. Jake Nolling, he's so good. He's so good. But even when he's not on the spreadsheet, when he's not on the stat sheet, he's distributing. He's a true point guard. He's a true guy that is a team guy first. Crestview is back. Crestview is back. Coach Perry has them working incredibly hard. A guy that's a weight room guy first, right? 2 incredibly successful children that were weight room people, right? Weight room kids. Now he's got his other kids buying into it, and they're seeing it displayed every week, seemingly. Every week, pushing dudes around. Crestview, your number 20 team. Hang tight. I told you there's going to be water breaks. I told you. We're going to power through. Number 19, Lakeview. Got to see him up close, personal. Quarterback has an arm. Quarterback has a rocket. Drew is he's something different, man. You don't see that every single week. If that kid's not playing D2, D3, maybe even D1, like if I'm Doug Phillips, I'm taking a look. He's got an incredible arm. He's got a D1 arm. And I'm not a recruiter, but I argue to say he's got a D1 arm. That thing is on a rope to his receivers. Thomas Easton, also a guy who, if I'm sitting there and I've got a spot on my team at the next level, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at that speed that he showed on a 75-yard or 75, 83, something like that. I think it was 83-yard touchdown. Thomas Easton, he's got like light speed, hits it, gone. See you later. He made some of those kids look slow on the field. And that's not easy to do against a team like South Range, right? Thomas Easton is a guy that probably going to hear his name throughout. Probably going to be an all YSN guy, I would imagine. As well as Drew. And there's a couple other guys probably going to be all YSN selections. But right now, Lakeview sitting at 19. 18, Warren JFK. Oh, Warren JFK, not Kennedy Catholic, not the Golden Eagles. This is the Blue Storm, baby. This is the Blue Storm. And I'll tell you what, Warren JFK, even on a tough season, they still have people's attention. And in talking to Coach Bente last week, a team that they're going to be dangerous. Wins and losses, whatever. And I think that's the way you have to look at JFK. Whatever during the regular season. Because it's all preparation to get to week 16. They haven't been there for a few years. It's been a couple ice cream seasons, a couple pumpkin spice seasons. They're looking to get back. And I'm not sure that I want to be in their way in D7 if that's what it comes down to. Because these Eagles, they fly together. 17 with the drop pulling. That's why these rankings are tough, because they don't account for what's in here. They don't account for the Friday Night Lights rivalry games in week 4 that you have to go through. Canfield benefits from the pull and win. Poland drops all the way to 17 with a tough loss to Canfield on the road. They'll try to get back on it in NE8 play here this week. And then we'll see what happens, because you got South Range next week if you're the Bulldogs, and you beat them, and all of a sudden things are looking pretty good. LeBray, another team. They get a win over JFK last week, week 3. A field goal win, helps them along their way, but LeBray just continues to impress people. They play how they play. Coach Elliott doing a great job bringing that program back and making people be held accountable. So when you look at LeBray, you look at the opportunities that coaches and the coaching staff are presenting for their boys, and those boys are becoming men real quick from a standpoint of the accountability, understanding what's on the line in the classroom, in the film room, in practice, in the community, things of that nature. That's why LeBray is starting to get back to where we're used to seeing them, is because guys like John Elliott, incredible leaders, are doing the work. They're doing the stuff, in the dark that leads to the Friday Night Lights. Pymatuning Valley, you talk to Sam Torres, he's really high on it. He says the best running game on the network. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and argue back and forth with him, but listed at number 15, he's got a point. And these Lakers, moving mountains. You go to Pymatuning Valley, you're in for a night. You're going to feel it Saturday morning. So Pymatuning Valley, your number 15 team. Wyndham, this is where it gets a little hairy for me, because Wyndham actually drops down, even though they're perfect on the year. If I'm not mistaken, they're undefeated, and they take a hit. This is where the schedule comes into factor, right? You look at Valley Christian is a perfect example of their schedule not helping them at all. St. Thomas Aquinas, not the team that's going to help you in the power rankings or the rankings at all. Leetonia's not going to help them because they're winless so far this season as well. Malvern, playing them, but being able to, you got to beat those teams, if you want the points. So really interesting to see it. But this is one of those situations where if you're Wyndham, maybe this is some bulletin board material. Maybe this is an opportunity for you guys to look and say, hey, we'll put us against, and I would right now, Wyndham is really good. Really good. I'd put them against some of the best teams. I really would. And see where you go. See where you stack up. You saw what they did to East Palestine. East Palestine's the real deal. So what does that make Wyndham? I'm really interested. I really like this Bombers team. They're well put together. DJ Gross doing a great job as the AD over there. And Coach I wonder if he's still. Wyndham has an all grass field. Coach I was the guy that was painting the field, and he does an incredible job. I hope he's still doing it. Some of the best. Reserve's really good. I like that. We'll speak about reserve here in a moment. Garrettsville Garfield, another team that they play. I mean, we've talked about them. They play in a phone booth. They'll beat you. You just plug and play. You plug and you play. And Garrettsville Garfield, the G-men, for me, do it better than anybody. Start again. The system. They are a system team, and that's okay. We talked about South Range. Bible playbook. Garfield, Bible playbook. Right? But I'll tell you what. You get to that level, there's an expectation like no other. You better know how to play from your freshman year on, because if not, next man up. It's where you get guys like Keegan Sell, who go to school for 17 years. It's incredible. It is incredible. And Garfield, we're so happy to have them on the network because they're so fun to watch. The competition is next level. I mean, they're always in it. They're a team that doesn't matter what the sport, they're always in it. But in football, they're number 13 this week in the power rankings. Number 12, Western Reserve. Guys, I got to tell you, these are stocks I'm buying. I'm buying on Reserve right now. John Armini, salute to you, my friend. I know we do a little bit of the back and forth. We do a little bit of the dance, the jabber, right? But at the end of the day, the job that John Armini has been able to do at Western Reserve, I'm going to go out there on a limb and put him in as my early candidate for Coach of the Year. He did it at LeBray. Took him a year. Got hired late at Reserve last year. Took him a year. Boom. He's here. And he's got his guys. And they had a dog fight, or I guess a Blue Devil fight, against McDonald in overtime, getting a win, hanging tight. Whew. Western Reserve, they've got a stretch here, but they got the athletes, they got the dogs, the horses, whatever you want to call them, the Blue Devils. Just make sure that you put some respect on their name, because they're the number 12 team here on the YSN Power Rankings in Week 4. Archbishop Hoban, well, we don't have to say a whole lot about them. They'll be there when it counts. They will be there. The Knights will be there when it counts, certainly. They, in an off season, right here that they're having, they're still incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. And I know we don't have them to watch because of a contract situation that they signed, a national contract with an exclusive contract for football. We still have them with other sports. We still want them to be part of YSN. We're not giving up on them because, not to toot our own horn, but I think we do it better than anybody. And I still think we do it better than some of the people on the national level. So when they come back, we don't want the seat to have to get warmed up again. That's why if you're asking, and you are, that's why Archbishop Hoban, that's why Hoban's still on the on the power rankings here. Orange at number 10. Orange at number 10. Let me say it for the kids in the back. Orange at number 10. This is a team that they were just happy to win a game a couple years ago. They get a couple games last year. Orange is on a roll. And I'm not talking about the fruit. I'm talking about the Pepper Pike Pioneers, the guys that are out there clanging and banging. Coach Rob has them lit, has them fired up, has them believing. Does that mean they're going to win a state championship? Who knows? Doesn't matter. They are. It is so good to see. And Tim Porter, kudos to you, my friend. Kudos to you. Doing what athletic directors should be doing and giving their coaches what they need to succeed. The CEO of every athletic department is the athletic director, right? Tim Porter is everywhere he goes, lines it up. He does an incredible job across. And this is just a slice of the pizza of what he's able to do for Orange, the coaches that he brings in. Coach Rob, he cares more about those kids almost probably as much as their parents, I would argue. But you sit there and you look at Orange and what they've been able to do, and this is what a program is about. It's not about just winning one season and then, seeing where you could get. It's not about just, hey, we're going to get the ring this year and then we'll see where we go. This is about building a program of belief, of determination, of consistency. And you can't do that overnight, especially in football. You got 10 bites at the apple, guaranteed. And that's not even guaranteed anymore. So you look at that and you go, okay, what can we do this year? This is a 3 to 5 year plan for Orange. And let me tell you, the Orange Lions are a dangerous team. They're a dangerous team. They're number 10 in the Ysn Power Rankings. Ursuline! You knew it wouldn't be long. You knew it wouldn't be long till they're just puddle jumping right up to the top. They're the number 9 team this week. We don't have to talk about Ursuline a whole lot because, let's just face it, this is the team that everybody wants to see. East got to see him last week. Ursuline knocks him out of the power rankings. Ursuline, again, don't look at the schedule. Look at the results at the end of the year. Irish are going to be there. The Irish will be there. Danny Reardon is going to have them all amped up, ready to go. They're fired up. They take some big haymakers to start the season. Their schedule is jocked. But they're coming around. They're coming around. The bullies in the yard are scrambling because Ursuline has entered the chat. Irish, number 9. Beaver, Pennsylvania. The Bobcats, ladies and gentlemen, making another appearance on the power rankings at number 8. Pure domination. CJ Schroeds talks about Whippeal football all the time and how it compares to what we have over here in the OHSAA. I want to see it. We're trying to get Beaver and Mohawk playing teams from Ohio. And we want to see this. Beaver sits at number 8 on the power rankings this week. Let's keep it going. Struthers, number 7. We talked about Struthers a lot today. You know what they are. A win over Girard. That's big. A win over South Range is huge. They got them. They got the Raiders this week. Rominger Stadium. Struthers, number 7. Number 6, Hubbard just doing their thing. Just quietly standing in the corner, just watching everyone. Hubbard's like the cool kid in the lunchroom, right? He knows listen, you go ahead and eat. I know I'm going to eat. I know we're going to be fine. Hubbard's just chilling in the corner, right? Sunglasses on, relaxing, making sure everybody knows they're there. At the end of the day, Hubbard's going to have a say in this thing too. Hubbard sits at number 6 in the YSN power rankings here in week 4. Boardman, another week, another win. The Spartans just keep on rolling. DJ Dota, painful last year. We were doing interviews and you could just see how tough it was week in, week out. But he kept the belief. He kept his team believing. He kept his coaches believing. This is a different year for Boardman. It feels different. It looks different. Boardman is back. The Boardman football we've been waiting for years is back. And there's a little razzle-dazzle. Zach Haas. He's a dude. Boardman's back. Welcome back, Spartans. Number 4. South Range Raiders. Sitting at number 4. Actually 3. Tied at 3. But we do a little 3-4, did a quick poll. A lot of people saying number 3 team, number 4 team. We'll see. Based on a scrimmage. South Ranger number 14. We talked about them a lot today. We're not going to go into too much depth. Number 3, West Branch. West Branch are number 3 team. Why? Well, there's an argument for number 1. There's an argument for number 2. Number 3, Branch feels disrespected. I can tell you the Warriors do not like sitting in bronze. Yeah, sure, we medal. No, we're the best team. It's not arrogance. It's incredible confidence, and they've got a lot to be confident about. A lot to be confident about. West Branch, again, I don't know how they're not on people's radars. I don't know how people continue to overlook them. I don't know how teams continue to overlook them, much like South Range, and sit there and say, well, they have they have weaknesses. They have weaknesses. Come on. I'm trying to get through this. I'm almost there. West Branch has weaknesses. Show me. Show me where they are. Show me where it hurts. Because I don't see them. We watch them every week on film, and there's not a whole lot of weakness there, folks. Cheney, though. They poke those bruises a little bit. They give West Branch all they can handle for a little bit. A little bit scared. There's a lot of people in West Branch, or in Beloit rather, a little bit nervous, looking for scores. Ultimately, the Warriors pull it out, and they get the number 3 ranking on our power rankings here in week 4. Number 2, Perry. You had to wait till Saturday to figure out, oh yeah, the Pirates pretty good. D4, D5, we don't care. They're good, man. They're good. And I know we don't get to see them a lot. This week we will, as I understand. They'll be on the network. So they've got almost all their guys back from last year. D5 state champs. Like, they didn't forget how to play football. Pretty good. I'm actually really excited for the playoffs. You know, just knowing that they're going to be in the mix. I'm really excited to see D4. Can they make a run? Like, what happens if you win D5 one year? Okay, move up to D4. Well, what if Perry takes it? What if Perry just says, yeah, we like the decorations around here. You know, your curtains are nice, but we're going to change everything because we're here. I think Perry has the potential to do that. Pirates are for real. Raise the Jolly Roger, right? Then you're number 1 team. And honestly, it's not really close, points-wise. And again, a team that's not getting a whole lot of attention. You don't see much media surrounding this team. The Austintown Fitch Falcons. TJ Parker, the crew. Oh, my goodness. They just do what they do. It's a business trip every single week. Punch the clock. Go do our thing. Win. 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 Like, it's incredible to see. You want to talk about a culture change. You want to talk about an entire program changing and reflecting the attitude, the persona of their head coach. It's the Austintown Fitch Falcons. If we're in a bar fight, I'm taking TJ Parker with me because we're not losing. He will bite, kick, scratch, claw, whatever, throw a beer bottle at you, whatever he needs to do in order to win. And now his guys are bought in. Not that they weren't before, but I think they're starting to see it. I think there's an impatience now in Austintown Fitch. You're starting to get the toys. What are you going to do with them? How do you take it to the next level? You're starting to get, all these nice things that Austintown Fitch continues to do for their student athletes. The football team takes it personally. And they say, okay, you take care of us, we're going to take care of the F. And that Block F looks really shiny right now at the top of the Christmas tree on the Power Rankings Top 25. Austintown Fitch, your number one team. All right, it is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey. We are going to keep it short and sweet. However, we do need to run the graphic. Hang tight. The Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey. Joe Dickey Electric, they are everything electrical. You can visit them today on the web at dickieelectric.com. Mine is super simple. I had a chance, and I know maybe not all of you have the opportunity to watch the Audible call on Friday nights with Mike Ackelson. But what I'm going to tell you is I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times. It's one of those things like when you have a toy, like you're just happy to have it sometimes. You don't necessarily play with it. And on Friday, I played with my toy, which is the Audible call on the way home. I tried to just tune in as a fan and just be objective. It's the only one in the United States, the only one in the country that does it for amateur high school football. I've never been more proud of something that we've put together. It's like watching your kid play a sport, and then you're trying, you're in the yard, you're throwing, you're doing all the stuff you can as a parent, and then all of a sudden it clicks, the light bulb goes on. Eric Oates, Brian Scott, Anthony Hartwig, Mike Ackelson, Radar, Scotty, everybody here, and it's a band of misfits, as we all are here at YSN, who just kind of file in, file out as needed. What I'm going to tell you is it is one of the most dynamic shows we have on this network. It is one of the most dynamic platforms that you can watch. They've got it down to a science. They've got quad boxes. I mean, it's incredible. And they're so good at getting to the right game. And unlike when you watch on Sunday, 7 hours of commercial-free football, the announcers don't get in the way. They let the announcers who are out there doing their job. It's just Eric, Anthony, and Mike are maestros. Just absolute maestros every Friday working that. And I'm grateful. Because it's not very often that I had the chance to watch it. I had a chance to watch. We watched it in the booth. I'll be honest with you. We watched it in the booth, and we were able to kind of keep track on everything as it was happening. So incredible job. And then the Joe Dickey Electric scoreboard show after that Anthony and Mike do is incredible as well. It's just cool to see your baby grow a little bit. We're on an 8th season. This is the 4th season of the Audible Call. 5th season of the Audible Call. But it's awesome. It's awesome to see, and the production gets better here every year, and certainly something to be happy about. So that's going to do it for our show today. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank all these teams for allowing us to cover them, and the communities for allowing us to partake as well. Lots of games on the network tonight, shows on the network tonight as well. Make sure you're going over to ysnlive.com/live for all of that. You can also go to ysnlive.com/score for a scoreboard that is updated every single night, and the conclusion of all of it. It's where all the other media outlets get their information. So why don't you get it the same place? Go to ysnlive.com/score for all your score updates. That's going to do it for our show. Thanks again to our title sponsor, Toyota of Warren, for continuously giving us support and need and allowing us to do this crazy dream of mine every single day. God bless you all. We'll see you on the other side. Again, scores, everything. Games tonight, ysnlive.com. See you. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your